good idea.
And Fat Boy Rob says, absolute fucking shite. 12 points conceded in the first 15 and 12 points in the last 15. In between, Rover did everything they could do to win the match, passing the ball out wide, offloads, attacking kicks, whereas Castle just did the usual of late. 5 drives and a kick. If you are shit scared of losing, you're never going to win. That's the season over as we have Saints, FC and the Cheats last 3 games. Shite, shite, shite.
I don't understand. Castleford are playing against Castleford's women in the last game of the season. I'm really confused. I listened to this one on the radio, and I think Tom sums it up pretty well, because KR had a 12-point advantage midway through the first half, and then Mossy Masso dropped the ball on an exit set, and Cass scored within a couple of tackles of that, and it became all Castleford for the next half an hour. And then Castleford made a couple of errors. Hull KR scored a couple of brilliant tries. Ben Crooks was one of their best players in this game. The highlights show some good skills from him. Supporting that Atkin break was maybe one of the best pieces of play of the game, of the weekend maybe.
I thought.
But yeah, Watts seemed to be quite heavily involved from the radio commentary. The stats don't necessarily jump out for Watts as much as they normally do this week, but it sounded like he was always there around the ball, but he did make a crucial error towards the end of the game that actually set up one of the positions for the missed field goal attempts that Rovers spewed wide going into the end of the game. Peter Matautia set up a couple of tries, set up and scored one for himself as well. But so it seemed
horrendous brain fart.
It seemed like he was having a good game, didn't it? But the last 5 minutes, he lost the game for Castleford, didn't he?
He did. I mean, he instead of, it was an obvious opportunity to try and get another stab at a drop goal, instead of which he went for the pass out wide and slung the ball in touch. Absolutely brilliant.
Well, before that, he missed a 2 points that would have probably sealed the game with, I think, 3.5 minutes left.
Yeah.
And then Liam Watts knocked on from that 20-metre dropout, which gave the position for Josh Drinkwater to slice one wide. But yeah, and Matautia then, he did his best Paul McShane impression.
He did. He did.
I was reading the coaches' interviews after the game actually on this one, David, and the first line of it, I thought, here we go again. But actually, whining Darrell's got a very good point. He said, our gun half is sat on the side, which I was starting thinking, everyone's got injuries, we can start moaning about them. Yeah. But then he said, it's frustrating because we've had a lot of 1-point margins and we've won one of them. I've asked the players how we managed to do that, just a lack of composure and nous at the end from different players. We roll from sublime to the ridiculous, and it's pretty ridiculous at the end right there. That sums it up, actually, and I do start to then sympathise a little bit with the fact that they're without their main playmaker. But surely by this stage of the season, when you've already messed it up a few times in high-profile situations, in front of the Sky cameras or in big games, surely he's addressed that with his players by now.
You'd have thought so, wouldn't you? You'd have at least thought they'd have decided who is going to take control in those situations. Maybe they have, but if they have, it's not working for them so far.
Danny Maguire.
Oh.
At the moment, it seems like he doesn't train. He plods around the pitch for most of the game.
He's Sean O'Loughlin's alter ego.
He hasn't even had huge involvement in a lot of the games recently, but when they need him, I mean, the 40-20 followed by the drop goal in Golden Point, that 40-20 was absolutely magnificent. It really was the highlight play of the game because it was the most crucial play of the game at the most crucial time in a hugely crucial game.
Yeah,
that is a champion player.
He is a champion
player. A mouthy prick, we don't lack no. No,
yeah.
I'm sure he's great off the field, to be honest.
No, I've got no sympathy. He's done so much damage to my team over the years.
And mine.
He's gone.
But
but he's got huge amount of experience and the calmness to know exactly what he needs to do next and the skill to execute it still.
Yeah.
And he'll be missed as a player.
And the absolute, antithesis of what Castleford did at the end.
Yeah, indeed.
Okay, final game of the week then. Saw a lot of points scored down in London. It finished London 28, Salford 58. It was 36-6 to the Red Devils at half-time, so it was done at that point. 1,445 was the crowd. Liam Moore was the referee. Again, team stats came out so late on Sunday that I haven't written them up, but individually, some good numbers here. Jackson Hastings, 1 try, 4 try assists, 5 tackle busts, 202 metres and 2 clean breaks. Chris Naninu, 2 tries, 136 metres. Josh Jones, 1 try, 8 tackle busts, 138 metres and 2 clean breaks. And Tui Lolohea, a revitalised Tui Lolohea, 1 try, 2 try assists, 125 metres. It seems like going from a team and trying to fight relegation to going to a team trying to fight for the playoffs has suited Tui Lola here. For the losing side, Reece Williams with a try, 124 metres, and Rob Butler, who continues to impress. And surely, if London go down, he isn't going to go down with them now. 1 try and 107 metres.
Yeah, it was a good game. We had 1, 2, 3 sets of comments in. So Paul Chamberlain said, Broncos exhibiting as much up front as an A Cup. Brock Lame. I'm not sure what Brock Lame means, but I got the A Cup reference.
Dr. Hideous said the occasional flash of brilliance in the first half, and there were several, especially from Williams, Walker and Keir. Ain't enough. If you sprinkle delicious truffles on a fried dog shit, you've still got a fried dog shit. In the second half, we remembered how to attack, but defending was still beyond us. Something that had been far too common all season.
And Tom Andrews says, always liked Salford. Never had a bad word to say about them.
Do you remember earlier in the season when you were watching Salford highlights and you'd see 3 players flashing constantly, and it'd be 2 of them you were fine with and 1 of them you felt a bit dirty?
Yeah,
it was Hastings, Robert. It was Evold, and it was Louis.
Louis.
You don't have that dirty feeling anymore because it's Hastings, it's Evold, and it's Lola here. You don't feel dirty about Lola here.
No, I agree with that. And actually, I'm delighted to see him playing well because I always thought there was a talent there.
Yeah.
Maybe I think maybe it's the structure they play at Salford. I don't know, but he does seem to be showing a lot more of the skills that we thought he had when he came over in the first place. But this was the Jackson Hastings show. I mean, what a stat line that is, Mark. Yeah, I thought Tompkins had a brilliant game for Catalan, but 1 try, 4 try assists, 5 tackle busts, 2 clean breaks, 202 metres at 11 metres a carry. And some of those tries were sensational. Some of the try assists he put in were absolutely...
the one where he threw the dummy. 3 defenders fell for it.
Yeah. I fell for it.
Yeah. The cameraman nearly did.
He was brilliant. He was absolutely brilliant in this game. And, someone's getting a very good half-back next year.
Salford must have slacked off a little bit at the back. I mean, there was the long distance one from Williams and a couple of tries from the London forwards as the game progressed. So obviously they didn't maybe put as much intensity on the goal line, which Salford need to start to think about because they're in that race. And they need to have a defensive line intensity that's beyond what I've seen from them this season if they are to progress.
Yeah.
But they've got the skills in attack. Yeah,
they've got a chance. We'll come to the league structure in a moment or two, but that whole section in the centre there is going to be very exciting over the next few weeks, I think.
Yeah, I mean, Evold is right up there, isn't he, as well, with the top of the try-scoring charts now with 21 for the season, so he's out on his own at the top now, which just shows how much of a strike player he's been this year.
Yeah, and consistently so. He's been very good, as you said, right from the start of the season, right up till now.
I think he's finally delivering on scoring tries regularly, whereas he always used to seem to pop up in great positions but
Yeah.
not regularly. I think now
Yeah.
he's doing it very regularly. He's a good player.
Yeah, he'd get 1 or 2 for a few weeks, and then he'd seem to vanish again for a month or so, and then pop up again. He has been consistently good scoring all the way through the season.
But when you've got great players creating for you like Hastings, then it doesn't hurt you try scoring chances, does it? Josh Jones was another one who again was good for Salford. Another one that they're losing, sadly, for next year.
Yeah. I've always liked Josh Jones. He, particularly ever since he scored the winning try against Wigan at the Totally Wicked Stadium a few years back.
Yeah, no, I'm not his biggest fan, but you can definitely have that one. And you can have this one now. Let's do the standings.
Right.
So, St Helens can't be caught at the top. They currently have 42... We haven't reflected enough on that. Let's have a little bit of a reflection on that. You've won the League Leaders Shield. You didn't celebrate it last year. You will celebrate it this year, surely, no matter what happens at Wembley. Because you must have learnt from last year that these things don't come around. This sort of performance doesn't come around all the time. You've been fantastic. You've been great to watch. How's it been on the stands every week?
I think it's been a really exciting season for Saints. I mean, I think... You want to win the big silverware at the end of the season. There can be no doubt about that. The Challenge Cup and the Grand Final are the two pieces of silverware everybody wants. But you pay money every week to go and watch rugby league. So you really do want to be entertained during the whole of the season and not just for the last 2 or 3 games of the season. And we've been royally entertained at Saints. So it's been a lovely season to be a Saints fan. Thoroughly enjoyed it, and I do hope we can finish it off now and get the credit that I think the team and the coach deserve for what they've put in. Clearly, other teams will want to will have their say on that, and who knows? That's our 8th League Leaders Shield that we've won. I hope we celebrate it as well. As I say, I think we're due to be presented with the trophy at the Castleford home game, which is the week after the Challenge Cup final. So who knows? It may turn into a double celebration if we're lucky.
Yeah. So I think congratulations to Saints though on another sterling regular season campaign. Saints currently have 42 points and an unassailable 12-point lead over Warrington. The Wolves will now have to focus on the chasing pack, with Hull FC still third and 2 points behind them on 28. Both Wigan and Catalans are just 2 more back on 26. Salford are up to 6th on 24, leapfrogging Castleford on points difference, as those 7 teams will race for the playoff places. The race to avoid the drop sees Leeds climb to their highest place of the season, 8th, which is on points difference. They're leading Wakefield, Huddersfield and Hull KR, who are also all on 18 points. London at the bottom are on 16 points, with all teams having 5 games to play. Now, we spent so much time bemoaning the thuggery on and off the pitch in Perpignan that we haven't really got tons of time to go through all these things. But I want a little bit of a thought from you about which 3 teams... Which Warrington are going to be in the playoffs, aren't they? We can establish that. So who are the other 3 teams out of the 5 that are chasing those places do you think will make up the playoffs in the final reckoning?
So I think it's going to be Saints, Warrington, Wigan, Catalan and Hull. I think Salford will just miss out on the playoffs. That will be Castleford.
I think
Castleford will fall for.
Cass's fixture running is tough, but if they can get some momentum in that, they will be in the 5, and then will be a threat in the 5. But I'm hoping that it's Salford or Castleford in 5th over Catalans at the moment. I'm feeling that way, but we'll see how it goes. What about the drop? So let's just quickly run through the fixtures. Leeds have got 4 home games out of the remaining 5. Their only away game is down at London. All their other games are against teams in the top half, though. Wakefield, arguably the toughest run-in, with having Wigan, Warrington in the middle there, as well as Hull FC. But they've got Hull KR and London as well, which are teams around them. In fact, no, Huddersfield have got the toughest run in. What am I on about? They've got Salford, Castleford, Hull FC, St Helens, and then they finish with Catalans. So they've got only teams in the playoff races. Now it depends if